A Russian court has sentenced a political activist to 5 years in prison for embezzlement. Some say the conviction and prison term are designed to silence yet another opposition figure. Alexei Navalny was found guilty of stealing 16 million rubles from a timber firm back in 2009. Now that's about $500,000. On Wednesday, Navalny got the go-ahead to stand in September's election for Moscow mayor, a very powerful post. But now the conviction means that he cannot run. This comes a week after the trial of deceased lawyer Sergei Matinsky. He'd exposed a tax fraud scheme only to then be convicted of the crime himself after he died in custody. Critics are saying that this is just the latest episode in a crackdown on dissent in Russia.
Alexei Navalny had said a guilty verdict was inevitable in his trial for embezzlement, and when Judge Sergei Blinov found him guilty this morning, no one was surprised. Navalny's defense had been that this was a political prosecution. This was his passionate last speech to the judge earlier this month.
This can't go on forever. A situation in which 140 million people in one of the biggest and richest countries in the world are subjugated by a handful of worthless monsters.
Alexei Navalny is married and a father of 2 children. All that is left now is for the judge to decide how long his sentence will be. The prosecution has asked for 6 years. Last week, Alexei Navalny took his first big step into Russian mainstream politics, handing in his papers to stand in the election to choose Moscow's next mayor. The charismatic anti-corruption campaigner and nationalist rose to prominence in last year's street protest movement. He says he wants to be the next Russian president. Within minutes, he was arrested, though police later said they'd made a mistake.
Prosecutors have asked the court to jail Navalny for 6 years. The sentence is expected to be handed down later. The guilty verdict could stop him challenging Putin in the 2018 presidential elections. Yesterday, Navalny was accepted as a candidate in September's Moscow mayoral election. Today's decision could prevent him standing.
These charges, at least according to Navalny himself, were reheated once the political forces here, the establishment, realised that his popularity was on the rise, and they've used it as a way to stem his success, as it were. The crucial thing now is, the most immediate thing for Alexei Navalny is whether he will be able to continue his challenge to become mayor of Moscow, and those elections are in September. It may be that while an appeal is pending, he will be able to carry on with his candidature, but no one is absolutely certain at this stage. So everyone is waiting to see what the pronouncements will be as far as his political future is concerned.